Well, flood waters have started receding in Kashmir, but hundreds and thousands of people are still waiting to be rescued. Many stuck on rooftops for 6 days now with little or no food and no clean water to drink. A massive multi-agency rescue and relief operation has gathered pace as the rain eased, with the Air Force and civilian helicopters conducting non-stop sorties. Over 76,500 people have been rescued so far. Relief material is being airdropped in submerged areas of South Kashmir and Srinagar. Over 1 lakh army personnel are carrying out the relief and rescue operation in the state, where over 200 people have lost their lives. The army is now focusing on restoring internet, electricity, phone and road connectivity to Srinagar. Meanwhile, Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah termed the situation in the state as very serious. Well, the capital Srinagar has been bearing the brunt of an overflowing Jhelum river that has breached its embankments in several areas and a swelling Dal Lake that has inundated the surrounding colonies. Now, even as the rains finally stopped, many complained of a complete information blackout besides the lack of coordination among different rescue teams. Now, headlines today's Maruk Inayat with this ground report.
Right now we are on the road which is called the bypass. This is one of the arterial roads that comes from the Srinagar airport and into Srinagar city. In fact, if you go south down this road, you will hit the national highway towards Jammu and also towards southern Kashmir. Now, the scenes that we have seen on this road as we've gone along are absolutely terrifying. If my camera person can show, Prashant can show the shots, there are cars that are completely submerged. I in fact was in this area about a week back when the same area, if you can see these trees here, there are at least about 40 to 50 feet high and completely half of them submerged. So there's about 10 to 15 feet of water roughly is an estimation that one can say. This area on either side of the bypass is heavily populated. Right now most of these homes have been evacuated. The people, the locals living here have been moved out of the area. In fact, a large number of the people that we are seeing walking on the roads are not just migrant workers but also locals who are coming from other parts of southern Kashmir which have been completely inundated. They're making their way, walking towards the drier parts of Srinagar city in order to get out of the fury of this flood, which has clearly made matters extremely pathetic for locals to live in. If you can see also the fact that the road has been completely hit and in parts damaged very badly because of the immense amounts of water here. My driver is telling me that the water was actually on top of the road till yesterday, and it's only over the past 24 hours, 12 to 24 hours, that it has actually receded to the sidelines. Even if you see here just behind me, the water is touching the road, and this normally is an area where imagine that the land is about 10 feet down. At least 10 feet down. There's a flyover being constructed here, which obviously the work has stopped. You can see a lot of workers. This is a combination of both migrant workers as well as locals who are trying to live in makeshift homes here, having been evacuated from their homes and been stranded with pretty much nowhere to go. Large number of people walking. This is the bypass. Normally you don't see any pedestrian on the bypass. This is usually used by vehicles. But a lot of these people are trying to find a place to go towards, perhaps many of them from surrounding areas which are completely submerged. For those of you who are thinking that the pictures that you're seeing are actually of a river or perhaps a lake, not at all. This is actually water that has come from the Jhelum and the Chenab, extra water where both the rivers have breached the embankments and many of the flood channel water also diverted to this area. As we move forward along the bypass, you will see that many of the houses here completely submerged, about water till the 2nd to 3rd feet. Coming up next, to right behind me, is actually the railway line. And once we go forward, you'll realize that the road to the railway station here is completely submerged. In the distance you will be able to see some cars which perhaps were parked the last time that the railway station was operational. From what we've heard, this railway line which goes from South Kashmir, from North Kashmir down to South Kashmir, the South Kashmir part of it, which is areas like Pulwama, Avantipura, Bijbihara, are completely submerged. In North Kashmir also, in Baramulla, and parts along the way have been submerged and badly hit, so the railway lines also not working. If you see this entire stretch right behind me, this is solid land in normal circumstances, and you can't see the land because it's really low lying, about 10 feet down. So if this water has reached the level of the road, which means that there is close to, like I mentioned, about 10 to 15 feet of water all along. These are extremely terrifying visuals, especially for somebody who lives in this, is a local resident like me. I have never seen pictures like this. Never seen this area being inundated with so much water. And if it is cloudy today, we're hoping that it would clear. If this situation continues, and if there is any more rainfall, this water is going to breach this bypass all over again. With camera person Prashant, this is Mahrukh Inayat on the bypass in Srinagar for Headlines Today.
Well, my colleague Jaskirat Singh Bawa now joins us live from the newsroom to take us through the concerted efforts that are being made on social networking websites to help rescue the stranded. Jaskirat, take us through the latest.
Well, Rishika, what we have over here is hashtags which have been created, JK flood relief hashtag. Now, this is across the social media platforms, not just on Twitter. You can see that happening even here on Facebook. Now, this is actually coming in very handy. It seems like there's a very concerted and very coordinated social media usage. There are a lot of people who are actually sending their messages out for relief and rescue. They're asking the army to help them using this hashtag. Even the army, using their official handle over here, which is the ADGPI, they have been constantly updating the list of rescued people, which is very important for all those people across the country who have not been able to reach their relatives in Kashmir. They can use this particular handle of ADGPI on Twitter of the Indian Army, where a list of all the rescued people are there. And they are also reaching out to people on Twitter. If you tweet to them, or if you tweet to them with a particular location in Srinagar or around in the surrounding areas, then the army is trying to direct the rescue boats along with the choppers to those particular areas to rescue those people. So this is a very interesting use of social media that we're actually seeing happening on the internet. At the same time, very importantly, there's a website called jkfloodrelief.org. Anyone who wishes to contribute to the flood relief efforts, who wants to send some relief material and also contribute to the eventual rehabilitation efforts that will be made, can approach this website. It's a coordinated effort by some humanitarian people who are interested in some humanitarian activities from across the internet, and this is one of the websites that is coordinating those efforts.
Thanks, Jaskirat. Those are some coordinated, concerted efforts that are being made by people, not just to reach out to those in distress, but also the army has created several hashtags for all those people across the country who can't get in touch with their family members or relatives who are in Srinagar, because communication lines have been severed. You can in fact log on to Twitter and access information that is being put out there by the army. Also coordinated and concerted efforts being made for those people who want to in fact reach out and contribute towards the rehabilitation process in Jammu and Kashmir. Well, more than 200 people have lost their lives and lakhs have been displaced because of the unprecedented floods in Jammu and Kashmir. Communication lines, as we have been telling our viewers, have snapped. Power infrastructure has completely been damaged in the state. Some of those who managed to survive the nature's fury shared their horrifying experience with our reporters. Take a look at some of these ground reports. All right.
All of these names which are being called by the Indian Air Force are the people who bridged the gap between life and a certain death. These people, 350 of them in the Kashmir Valley today, have all of them been winched away or evacuated, as you may like to say, from the Kashmir Valley, are now being taken on the Indian Air Force's AN-32 aircraft from Srinagar. These aircraft will take off and will fly to Jammu.
हमने बहुत कुछ देखा इधर आसपास, हमने बहुत इधर पानी देखा, पानी की वजह से हमको बहुत मुश्किल हुई, प्रॉब्लम हो गई। 2 दिन के अंदर हमें भूखे पड़े थे अंदर। गवर्नमेंट की रिक्वेस्ट, गवर्नमेंट को हमने रिक्वेस्ट किया, गवर्नमेंट ने बहुत मुश्किल बचा दी।
3 दिन और क्या, बस ऐसे निकाला, किश्ती बैठी उन्होंने, किश्ती में निकाला, बस बहुत कुछ दिखा, पानी इधर पानी कुछ नहीं रहा, मकान गिर गए, सब कुछ गिर गया, कुछ भी नहीं रहा।
बहुत बारिश है, बहुत पानी, 2 मंजिल पे और होटल में पानी 2 मंजिल में। हाँ, हम 3 मंजिल में बैठते हैं। रात को बहुत पानी, बहुत पानी है।
जहाँ जिस एरिया में है कम से कम 2000 लोग उधर अभी है। हम जिस नाव में आए ना, किश्ती में जिसमें आए, वो पलट गई, उसमें 8 आदमी थे, वो गिर गए नीचे पानी में। फिर उनको नहीं, वो पहले, फिर उस नाव में कोई बैठा नहीं। मैंने इसको देखकर मैं बोला चलो हम बैठेंगे, 4 आदमी हम उसमें आए।
The Indian Air Force, in conjunction with the NDRF, the Indian Army and the state authorities, have managed to pull out as many as 350 people in today's time alone. But despite all of this, this figure may still not be enough, for we do not know just how many more remain trapped in those muddled waters. With camera person Parminder Sharma in Srinagar, Jugal Purohit reporting for Headlines Today.
Well, you too can do your bit to reach out and provide help to flood victims in Jammu and Kashmir. If you want to donate money, you can draw checks in favor of Care Today, the JNK Flood Relief Fund. The details are up on your screens at this point in time. Our address, our email and our phone numbers. For more details, you can also write to balaji.singh@intoday.com. Well, we'll be bringing you live images from Jammu and Kashmir. The latest visuals that are in fact coming in are on your screens at this point in time. The latest that we are getting in from Srinagar is that the waters have in fact begun to recede. However, it is still miles to go before all those stranded on rooftops and terraces can actually be rescued. There are several people who have been without food or clean drinking water for the past 4 days. And while a mammoth relief and rescue operation is underway, Headlines Today is bringing you live and exclusive ground reports. The state administration is working overtime to first and foremost restore power and communication links in the state. Those are the latest visuals that we're getting to you from relief and rescue operations that are underway in Srinagar as we speak. Well, defense personnel too have been working around the clock rescuing people who have been left stranded in remote areas, providing them relief. The Army, the Air Force and even divers from the Navy are leaving absolutely no stones unturned in trying to bring people back to safety.